There we go. Okay, started here. Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 4th, and I've been having some problems with YouTube. I'm going to upload this video so that everybody can watch it without the live stream annoyance, blah, blah, blah. Couple of big things to start off with. No show tomorrow. I am traveling to Chicago tomorrow, so no show. You'll have the enjoyment. If you're in the Facebook group and you want me to look at a stock, I will do it for you, and I will do it on a video on YouTube. Probably not necessarily a podcast, but so go over to subscribe to the Facebook group, which is you can find the link tree down below, and you can just hit subscribe in there. Answer the question. The question is, who's the host? You can answer Bozo or Gary. Either one I think are good answers. But go and just do that. Then second, go over to YouTube and subscribe to YouTube, because that's where I'm going to post it. I'll just sit in my hotel room. I'll look at the stocks for you. I'll do an individual one for you about a stock. If you want me to look at 2 or 3, I'll look at 2 or 3. Whatever you want, just go over there and look. So no show, and it probably no show for Thursday or Friday either. Again, I'm working, so it's a little bit of a not a hassle, but it'll be a little bit of a, hey, after hours kind of thing. Once I'm done working, I do have a real job at this point. It's not a real job. It's just a contract job. But I'll do that for you. Second thing, and the biggest thing, is TrendSpider actually allows me to actually share strategies now. And so when you hear me talk about an algorithm, it's actually a strategy tester. It's a back testing strategy that will trigger you with alerts. It'll throw things up for you. And you can see here on the screen the white entries, the green or the red exits. That's what's called back testing. It goes back and it looks at it. These are strategies. Prior to this, what I had to do was send people screenshots of the algorithms, the 65-minute and the 4-hour, and say, here you go. Now, TrendSpider has a ton of pre-installed strategies, which makes this an even more interesting one, because in our Facebook group, on Twitter, wherever you want to, we can now share strategies if you have a strategy that works. Again, mine are fairly basic, but basic and simple work. So it's just one click, which makes it great for me, because then I can just send you a couple of links and boom, when you sign up for TrendSpider, you're off to the races. So if you don't know, down below, there's 25% off code DSP25. Go and click on the link. So now let's get into the market SPY. Whenever the S&P 500 rebounds in the first quarter like it did, following a down year, which was last year, the index rises 78% of the time in April for an average gain of approximately 3%. This data goes back to 1928. So I wanted to take a look. Okay, S&P was up first quarter about 7%. We saw yesterday, went up again. I think it was, I should say it was flat. It might have been down. But here's the look at it. You can see QQQ is up 21% year to date. SPY is up 7% year to date. IWM is up 2%, and the Dow Jones is up 1.4%. Question is, and I posed this in the title, where do you want to go? Well, look at that blue line. That blue line right there, and it's off to the right. But if you go and you join the Facebook group, you can see this. The blue line is actually taking a leg either lower or horizontal. One or the other. SQQ might be your play. But I think the better assumption is either SPY, IWM, or DJI. I think DJI actually comes into play. I think the Dow Jones is probably going to go up. Now, I was talking about this with the weekly stock picks who picked Apple. And if we look at Apple, Apple is up, let's see, AAPL, if I could type. AAPL, Apple is up 0.23% in the pre-market. It's still in this ascending, just 153 was the buy-in. You're trading at 166. His point was good. He said for this bull rally to continue, the big boys still have to go up. I was making the point that the top 5 stocks, if you go to an even weighted index, It is flat, not great. Even an equal weighted Nasdaq index, it's just okay because the market has been carried by the top five. Meta, Facebook. When you go over here and you go to FinViz and you look at the top five big boxes, it's Microsoft, it's Apple, it's Google, it's Meta, it's Amazon, it's Tesla. You can see that clearly. It's going that way. And those are the five that are kind of dragging it up. So it's interesting. Again, I'll say it again. Whenever the S&P rebounds in the first quarter, which it did, following a down year, which was last year, the index rises 78% of the time in April for an average gain of 3%. So what can you play in for that to look at? Well, you can play SPXU. This is the S&P triple levered ultra pro. You can play this one. You're out of it. I'm sorry. SPXU is the short. SPXL is the long. You're in it. SPXL is the long. Just brain fart there. You're in this ascending triangle. I was going to say, boy, it doesn't look like you're down, but you're in this ascending triangle. You broke out. Are you going to reject that breakout? I'll show you one that did. But this is one that you could play. If you think the Nasdaq is going to come down to meet the others, then the choice is SQQQ. And in the 4-hour, right now, you're out of this one. You're not in this one. In the 65-minute, let's see if we run the 65-minute on SQQQ. You're out of it as well. So you're not in it in either one. So I'd more be looking at the up triple levered ETFs. And again, if you're in TrendSpider, I've got a list, levered ETFs to trade. You can take a look at that one. Let's see. SPY versus QQQ versus DJI versus IWM. Pretty interesting and clear. 3 of the 4 seem to be catching up with a little tick down in QQQ. And that's what I was talking about here. Just a little tick down in the blue there. It's a little tick down. There's an opportunity for either the 3 long, meaning the IWM, DJI, or SPY, or SQQQ. One or the other. I think that's your pick. And if you're trading, that's your toss-up. That's where you have the opportunity to try and choose what you want to do. Did anybody get in on GFAI yesterday? GFAI went crazy. Now, the 4-hour algorithm, which there's no way you would be watching this stock, went from 457. It is trading at $19 right now. It went absolutely nuts. On the 65-minute, if you would have seen this one, you can see there is one candle, absolutely one candle. And I'm going to have to expand this and then bring it down. It's just, it went nuts. And so let's bring this down. This one candle has a 99%, again, 99% period. That's 65 minutes. Its low was $8.05. It opened at $8.21. So it was going down. Its high during the 65-minute was $18. And it went up to $21, $21.19 by the end of the day. $21.19. It is at $18.32 right now. It went nuts. I didn't necessarily see anything. I think it's completely just a retail kind of volume trade. A recovering travel industry. I mean, that's from March 28th. FinViz had nothing on this one, but it went absolutely nuts. When it goes nuts, you can trade it. I mean, go ahead and trade it. Even today, I think you've got an opportunity to trade it. The volume is just crazy. I mean, I can't imagine anything going on with this one, but I haven't done my research. Tesla on the 65-minute. Yesterday, I posted Tesla rejected on the ascending wedge in the 65-minute. You can see here on March 31st, it went up and then it just rejected. Now it's down at the bottom. You've got some support at about 190. I would say between 190 and 195, I'm going to add and start a position in that one. That's going to be where I'm at. So Tesla, in my mind, the issue that you're going to have in the roll of the dice is the margins. If margins come under, they obviously delivered more than most analysts expected. There were some that came short. That's not why you're down. That you're down because you just ran up into this and people are taking profits. I mean, there's no other reason to think that they're just not taking profits. If we go to a weekly on this one and just look, you can see the run up on this. If I drag this volume slider up to the point where it really started dropping, you can still see most people are holding at this point between 190. There's a volume gap down here at about 123. On the daily, you still got that gap. Even on the 4-hour, I think you have the gap down to about, let's go to the 4-hour algorithm right here. You've got it, I think, at 150. I don't know that it's going to necessarily get down there. It could get down there on earnings. That's where you're kind of, okay, where am I really going to roll the dice here? Their earnings are coming up April 19th. And you can see this gap right here between 145 and 150. There's also a gap up here between 250 and 260. So take your pick. You're right in the middle. But in my mind, I think I want this close to 190. The algorithm has you in at 180. If you get back down there, absolutely, I'd say buy it. An oil expert, Mark Fisher, was on CNBC yesterday. I was watching him. He says oil should be bought at 65 and sold at 85. Right now, according to FinViz, crude oil is at 81, so you're approaching that $85 price target. He's the CEO of MBF Clearing Corporation. What this indicates to me is UCO is probably your play. I would play this one on a 65-minute algorithm for day trading. Absolutely 100%, not on a 4-hour. The 4-hour has been extended. The 4-hour got you in at 23.46. You're trading at 29.43 right now. I would much rather see you trade this on the 65-minute algorithm. The 65-minute algorithm right here, it got you in at 25.27. There's this gap up here. You're kind of sitting there. I think you've got 30 in this one, but I'd rather see you trade it on this one so that you can get out a little quicker because that MACD is up. The RSI is at 83. It's a little bit overbought. Mark Fisher also said, by the way, if you're thinking SCO is your play, because the opposite of UCO is SCO. Absolutely 100% you can trade these because right now you can see UCO was on top of that gap. Well, SCO is on the bottom of that gap. It's down below. You're seeing a death cross probably happen of the 50-day crossing the 200-day. But again, UCO and SCO are the oils. If you think Mark Fisher is right, $85 is where you're approaching. So SCO might be your play. He also said nat gas will follow the same as crude. Europe will have to pay for the nat gas. They will need to refill their stockpiles for the winter. Just not right now. Natural gas is hugely down. Boil, we talk about Boil all the time. The opposite is KOLD. KOLD on the 4-hour had a cross up. So KOLD yesterday had a cross up. I'd rather see you on the 65-minute on this one. The 65-minute, you're still out on Boil. I've said this many, many times over the past probably month or so. If we look at a weekly chart, you can see Boil still doesn't have confirmation, still way below. You can see there was super amount of interest with the volume that you're still kind of seeing yesterday afternoon. This week volume is just way down. Nobody wants to trade Boil. You're seeing the 50-day under the 200-day. I mean, just nothing that throws a positive spin on it. When you look at KOLD, we talked about KOLD having a cross-up. And KOLD has a cross-up. You can see KOLD, we talked about it kind of. These are decaying assets, so they're trades. KOLD has a cross-up here on the 65-minute at 78.20. You're trading at 76.12. I do think that Boil today, I just have a feeling Boil will end up. But on the 4-hour, you can see if we run this one on KOLD, it is the cross-up. Oh, secondary cross-up. 53.14 is where you initially had this. This is crazy. I mean, KOLD has been an explosion on the upside. Three energy names that were thrown out yesterday as great plays, and I don't know if they were talking about their book because the particular person does own these three, and that came out after I wrote it down. I just remembered about that. But Exxon, we had a cross up here, buy here at 106. You've still got a hugely upward MACD. The RSI is at 78. It's a little bit extended. If you look at XOM over here, I think this is one I personally just bought and held. I sold some in December for, I think, around 110. It's trading at 116 right now. Probably should have gotten back in. Performance over 1 year, 40%. Your average target price is 127. Your 52-week high is 119. So you're approaching a 52-week high. You could get a 52-week high at one, crossing up today if we continue to see it go up. FANG, which is Diamondback Energy. This one, oh, by the way, Exxon has a 3% dividend. If we look at FANG's fundamentals, it's got a PE of 5 right in there, 6.6%. So it's double the Exxon performance year to date. Not quite as good as Exxon, but you're up 7%. You're up 11% for 1 year. Target price is 173. You're trading right at 144, 145.11. The cross up here was at 130. You're crossing the 200-day. There's probably the 50-day is probably going to start turning positive. Again, I'm big on energy. And HES is the final name, HES. If we look at HES on the FinViz, 1.12, 1.22. It's got a super high PE. Year to date, it's up 1%. Performance for the year, 34. Average target price is 159. You're at 143. I think this is the least of the three, if you ask me, just because the PE is so high. They are giving a decent dividend, nothing like Exxon or FANG. Personally, PXD, great dividend. PXD is Pioneer Natural Resources. I bought this one at 108. 108 was where I bought it. But PXD is there's PE is 6, 12% dividend. Year to date, it's down 4%. For 1 year, it's down 6%. Average target price 256, and again, you're at 213. So I think you have some growth there. Other than that, I think Devon Energy. I've talked about Devon Energy. I think Devon Energy under 60. I think Devon Energy is just buy. Under 50, it was a great buy. But under 60, it's a decent buy. On the algorithm, we had a buy-in. I think it fit $48 was the buy-in. You're trading at 53.60. 53.60. It's got a great dividend. It is the highest paying dividend in the S&P 500. Devon Energy is. It's got a 9.49% yield, down 12% year to date, down 4% over 1 year. Its average target price is 67. You're trading at 52. So I think in the energy space, you absolutely have choices. I want to talk a little bit about Netflix. I know last week, I think Netflix announced, or there was rumors that you could use your mobile phone as a game controller, and they were looking at that. I found out on Netflix, if you go on your mobile device, Netflix has games on your mobile device that are free that you can download, play on a plane. I'll be playing those on the flight to Chicago and to Houston. But I talked about under 300, and that was just a few weeks ago. 301.82. Well, you got your 10% because you're up at 348. So I wanted to point out Netflix is a winner. Their earnings are coming up April 18th. I think this one, if they announce something crazy, and by crazy, I mean, hey, our password crackdown is actually working in Canada. We're seeing a bunch of new signups. Remember, for every one person that pays, there's 4 other households or 5 other households, I forget the actual number, that are not paying, that are sharing that password. And if that's the case, then all they need to do with a password crackdown is actually just, 20%, get one person to pay, and you get a 20% increase in your revenues. That's crazy, crazy good. Now, from a fundamental standpoint, if we go over to FinViz and we look at Netflix, 38 is the PE. Forward PE of 24. Year to date, you're up 18%. Over 1 year, you're down 7%. Average target price is 357. You are damn close to that. If we look at the 4-hour algorithm again, I'm going to run this in TrendSpider, but it was a 301 buy-in at that point on the 4-hour, and we can take a look at it in a little bit. Hold on 1 second. I'm pausing this, but I'm not going to pause the YouTube because I don't want to edit the damn YouTube stuff. But I'm reloading TrendSpider, and I'll get back to it in a little bit. I just want to show this. There's a gap in Netflix. Yep. I think there's another gap up above. Let's go to a daily. There we go. Okay. Sorry I had to pause. I wanted to show the daily, and my computer's a little bit funky. I think the internet is having some problems here. But 457 to 500 is the gap way back here from January 2022. Remember January 2022, that was the highs. And so you've covered this gap up to 342. You've covered this one. Remember how I talked about when it was down here at 240? I said, you've just started to cover this gap. You'll cover this gap. At some point, you're going to cover this gap. It's just expensive. I don't know when. I don't know how long it's going to take. But Netflix is one of those companies that will be around. It will continue to put off tons of cash, and it will be a beneficial stock. So I think Netflix is good for the long haul. I don't own this one. I know my dad owns a bunch of it, but I personally don't own this. I haven't gotten in. And the reason I haven't gotten in is just a shitty one. I was afraid of the PE. Honest to God, it's just a shitty reason. But we talked about, and I still have to do the Warner Brothers, Paramount, and Netflix video. And I'll do that probably coming up. Maybe I'll do that while I'm traveling a little bit. Scans. Let's go over some scans. First one, CrowdStrike. This one is in my personal portfolio. It is not in the core portfolio that I have on TrendSpider. This is in my personal portfolio. It's a secondary cross up. This one has been a monster. 97.81, you're at 136. 97 was way back on January 12th. This is one of the ones that still, I mean, even if you look at Palo Alto Networks, it follows the same thing. But this is a secondary cross up. Huge, huge stock. Next one is Meta. And Meta is one, this is a secondary cross-up, I think, as well on the 4-hour. 184.94. I continue to say anything under 200. I have not bought back into this one. I may just buy it at 213 because I do think when you look at the fundamentals of this one, remember, they are cutting so many jobs, 25, 17. But you're going to get earnings per share that are going to blow people away, I think. The average target price is 222, so you're climbing up there. Your 52-week high is 236. Again, I think the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 5 people who, look at February and they're all up at 200s. They're all up at 200. So, buy it at 200. You can see these people, selling. They're selling at around 170 or so. I think that's just, they're putting in pools. A lot of these people, look at those fees. You don't see Zuck on these things. You see Jennifer Newstead, who's the chief legal officer. She's selling so much. She's sold a bunch. But, again, she's probably looking at leaving because she's laying so many people off. So Meta had a cross-up. We talked about KOLD having a cross-up. KOLD has a cross-up. This is a secondary cross-up. You're still in this one at 53.14. My only concern, RSI, it's at 59. It's a little bit high. Broadcom, AVGO is Broadcom, got a cross up at 639. 639, it's a little bit extended. I think let's look at some of the fundamentals. AVGO. PE is 21, so it's not crazy. Forward PE of 14, 2.86%. Year to date, it's up 14%. Performance over 1 year. Average target price is 683. you're trading at 642. You're up at 52-week highs. But again, since the October lows, I mean, it's just got this ascending wedge. So AVGO had a cross up, and finally Dexcom has a cross up. Dexcom is one that my dad has. I told him to sell a bunch of it at 110, 116.03, and you're trading at 115. They have earnings coming up April 28th. I don't think this is a bad one. Honest to God, it's expensive, but I think healthcare, and specifically, I was scared out of this one because of the essentially Apple filed a patent where they can determine blood sugar based on just a skin test. They don't have to poke. And so Dexcom is a little bit, but if you know anything about diabetes and about blood sugar testing and things of that sort, Dexcom is just killing it. Performance year to date up 1%. Performance over 1 year, 9%. 6 months, they're up 43%. Your average target price is 133. You can see multiple tops right here at 123. So if you buy here at 115, don't expect to, shoot up past this one. Again, that's why I kind of told my dad, I said 110 probably is a good one. You can see the PE is 143. The forward PE is 79. It's a little bit expensive, but I like the stock. And if you have diabetes, if you talk to anybody with diabetes, Dexcom is it. So, okay. Sponsors, Visible, if you pay more than $30 for your phone bill, go to visible.com. The link down below will save you $20 off your first month. Their plans start at $25, I think, $30 if you don't get the $5 discount that they're currently offering. But if you get it, it's $25. You get $20 off your first month. So your first month is $5. There is no reason to click the link below. Get the $20 off. Put in an eSIM. Get a secondary number. Get an eSIM. And for $5, you can test it against your current plan. Most phones today have eSIM. If you have an Android, if you have an Apple one, it's super, super easy. Sign up down below. Again, save $20 off your current monthly rate. And if you don't like it, it's $5. Cancel it. Just cancel it. But if you like it, I enjoy it. I haven't had a problem with it at all. Second sponsor is TrendSpider. And TrendSpider, down below, there's a code to save 25% off. Like I said, I can share everything now with you. It is no longer a setup process. It is as simple as just click on this thing and you get my 4-hour algorithm. You get the 65-minute algorithm. I'll send you the links for all the watch lists. I'll send you the links for all the scans that I do. Everything. Just sign up. Again, 25% off. Even if you want to try it, there's a 7-day trial. Even if you just want to try it, I can send you it. Try it for 7 days. I use it. It's absolutely essential in my trading. The other thing is to idshop.com. I'm going on my job. There will not be shows later this week. I am going on my job to Chicago, and then I go to Houston. I will try and do shows. Just may not be top-notch, just like these aren't top-notch. But, I mean, is any show top-notch? Who knows? But idshop.com for any of your promotional needs, any of your security needs, anything that you need printed, anything. Just go to idshop.com, and if you're not the one making that decision, go into your HR department and just say, have you heard of idshop? Maybe they can help us with something. I'm telling you, family-owned business, it is phenomenal, the people that work there. I just love the people. I would do the job for free. The people are just that good. I enjoy working with Major League Soccer. I enjoy working with Miss America. There's a couple other organizations that you probably don't know that I tend to work with, but those are the big ones that you guys would probably know. I think I may be doing Miss Teen America this year as well, because the Miss America organization likes me so much. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Again, the Facebook group is down below. That's the best place to get in contact with me. We keep it private because even just this morning, we had some scammers in there posting some events. So I keep it private. I think they answered the host of the show is Bozo. I probably have to take that answer out. But if you have any questions, hit me up. Thanks, guys. Take care. Under 30 minutes today. Have a great, and I'll be flying into all the tornadoes and stuff into Chicago. So it can't be worse than a plane blowing up. And for you longtime listeners, I was on a plane that caught fire. So it's got to be better than that. Okay, take care. See ya.